So in this entire session, I will let you know what is IELTS exactly and what does the IELTS stands for. We will be discussing about the modules in detail and why it is important for you to give IELTS exam. And so we'll be discussing about all these things in our entire session. Right. So whatever queries you have, you can put up your question and we will be taking the questions at the end of the session. Right. So shall we start now? Yeah. So what is IELTS? So IELTS stands for International Language Testing System. Now most of us, you might be fearing IELTS, right? So most of us might be having queries in your mind that what IELTS what IELTS contain, right? What are the modules in the IELTS, and what do I need to do? How do I need to proceed further in preparing for all the modules? So there might be a lot of queries in your mind when we talk about IELTS, right? So is it only the English language test, or what all abilities are tested in IELTS? What all skill sets are important for you to score good bands in IELTS? So we will study about everything. So right now you might be having all the doubts in your mind that how would I score good bands in IELTS, how I need to prepare, and how I need to do my what all modules I need to study, and how I need to prepare for my IELTS exam. And many myths might be there in your mind, like when it comes to the speaking module, right? So you might be thinking that if I speak in the accent that the Americans or the US accent or the British accent that they are speaking in, so I will be scoring good in speaking module. So it is not like that. So I will give you idea about what all we need to do in IELTS, so that you need to prepare accordingly in the IELTS exam. So we shall start now. Right. So we will be discussing about what is IELTS, what it stands for. I will be giving you information about the test format, and I will be also giving you information of what all modules need to cover, and what is the duration, and what are the question types in each module. I'll be discussing in brief in this webinar. And also we will be talking about the exam dates, and on what site you can register for the exam, about information about the duration of the exam and test centers. Right. So what is IELTS? What does it stands for, and what are the skills are said? So as I said in beginning that many of us would fear, right, that will it test my English ability? Only English ability test is involved in IELTS. So if I have good grammar, or if I have good English, if I know good English, will I be able to clear my IELTS? So many questions might rise in your mind, right? And why? What are the skills are said assessed in IELTS? So it is designed to assess the English language ability of people who want to study, right? You might want to study abroad for your graduation, for your post graduation. You want to do your masters after your graduation, or you might want to do your graduation after your 12th, right? And what is the right time exactly for preparation of your IELTS? So the right time to prepare for your IELTS, you should start from your 10th, 11th, right? So that is the right time. You get enough time to prepare for your IELTS. So after your 10th, you can start preparing for the IELTS when you are in 11th or 12th standard. So it gives good time, right? Along with your school, along with your 11th standard and 12th standard syllabus, you can prepare for the IELTS. So it will test your English language and communication skills, right? As far as speaking is concerned. Now, why it is test? Why they want to test, and who are the partners, right? British Council, IDP, and Cambridge English IDP and Cambridge English, University of Cambridge are the partners, are the authorized partners. So you can give your exam, you can give your IELTS exam by registering on the site of British Council, or either by registering on the site of IDP, right? And they are the authorized partners. So both British Council and IDP have different slots available, whether you want to give your computerized test or whether you want to give your paper-based test. Both the test centers will be having the slots available. So you can book your exam 1 month before, and you can give your IELTS exam 4 times in a month, right? And many of the students query always that whenever I'm coaching them for the IELTS, that ma'am, British Council is good or the IDP is good, right? So it is not like that. Both British Council and IDP has its own test centers in India, all over the world. So you can book your exam on any of the site, right? You can check your slots 1 month before, and you will get information about your IELTS exam and about the test dates Also, you will get information about all the modules, and it also has the practice set. So you can go to the British Council site or IDP site, and you can get information about all the modules. Practice tests are also there, so you can solve all the modules and you can book your exam, know about the test and centers that are available in each cities, and also you can get information about your exam date and what are the fees for the exam. So the fees will vary for the exam, so you can check what are the fees available for. Generally it is 13,250 for booking your IELTS exam. So this is information about who are the partners and whatever the material that you might be learning for the IELTS exam, or you want to prepare for your IELTS. So British Council and IDP both has good material on its website, so it is the authorized one, right? If any other sites you are studying or you are taking material from that, then it is not in the authorized. So always go for the authorized material to prepare for your IELTS exam. So both British Council as well as the IDP will have good material, and a good number of practice tests are also there. You can appear for the mock test before going for the exam. So it is very important, right, to give the mock test. So it's exactly you will know what band to score, right? When you are targeting higher band, say 7, 8 band, so you need to prepare for the mock test, and this mock tests are available on both the site, British Council as well as the IDP site. So both the materials are authorized material whenever you browse and check on the internet. Now we will be discussing about the modules. What modules does the IELTS have, right? So IELTS have two modules, academic and general module. So first we will be discussing about the academic module, right? Academic, so before diving deep into the modules, I would like to inform that all the students who are going to study abroad, who are going to studies in the countries like Canada, New Zealand, UK and USA, will be giving the academic module. So it is for the study purpose. You want to study or you want to pursue your masters, then it is compulsory to give your IELTS, and many of the master's degree accept only IELTS exam. They are not accepting any TOEFL scores, or they are not accepting any other exam score. So IELTS is very important, especially in the UK when you pursue your master's degree. So IELTS is very important to give, and the scores of the IELTS are valid till 2 years, right? And the band score, so band score, that is the grade, what grades you will be getting, what grades you will be getting in IELTS. So it will be graded from scale of 0 to, sorry, it will be graded from scale 1 to 9. So 1 is the lowest, and there is no passing or failing in the exam. And your, what is LWRS? LRWS. LRWS is your listening, reading and writing and speaking, right? So LRW will be on the same day, and speaking can be on the different day. It can be on the same day when you are giving your listening, reading, writing, and it can be prior also. It can be before your listening, reading, writing, and it can also be after your listening, writing and reading test. 7 days prior, and it can be after the 7 days, or it can be on the same days. When you book your exam, you will get a mail. So when is your speaking exam? So it can be on same day, or it can be prior to your listening, writing and reading, and it can be after 7 days also, right? And the band scores are from 1 to 9. So I will give you information about what are the band score, and what do you understand by the band score. So before you prepare for the IELTS, before you jump into any of the module, you start preparing for listening, you start preparing for any other modules, say reading or writing. It is very important, how do I target the band scores, what is the meaning exactly of the band score, and different criteria to achieve those band score. It is very important to know before you jump into any of the module. And there is no passing or failing, so only the band scores are needed to score good in IELTS, and the score is valid for 2 years. Now what are the band scores? So when you get band 1, right, so it starts from the band 1. So band 1 is the lowest. So when you get band 1, you are the non-user, means you have not prepared well for your exam, right? And you might have scored low because your English ability, your language is not well developed, so that's why you have scored low in IELTS exam, right? And when you get band 2, you are the intermediate user, right? Intermediate user is somewhat you have knowledge about the English exam, right? As it is assessed to test your English language ability, right? What happens in college is we were getting we were getting the reading comprehensions, and we use in reading, say suppose we are attempting the reading paper, so we got many comprehensions, and we used to solve those questions, right? And we used to write the answers from the reading module. So it happens, so this is a different, it tests your English language ability, but it also tests your analytical ability, how well you are able to comprehend in different module, how well you are able to apply all the tricks and tricks. So it is very important to know, apart from your grammatical skills, right? Apart from your, so many students have that myth that if I know grammar, I'll be able to get good marks in IELTS. It is the overall assessment of your listening ability. You need to understand the accent, that uh, UK, as well as the British accent, as well as the American accent, in what language they are talking, and what are the sentences structures they are using. So you, in each module will cover all this information about the structure of your sentences, as well as the grammatical thing. So it is a test of your overall ability, the logical, then your thinking ability, as well as your observation and your memory. So everything is counted in your IELTS exam, not only your grammatical ability. So you are said to be a intermittent user. You might have not used the language, or your fluency in speaking might not be that good, fluent. You are, or your vocabulary preparation, or even in writing, you are not using the grammatical structure of the sentences, or you are not using the complex structure of the sentences. So that will happen. So you are said to be an intermittent user. So you need to prepare very good for the exam. Band 3, extremely limited user. So you have started, but you are using it at a limited level, that you may not be well prepared with the grammatical structure and all that I said. Band 4, again, you are a limited user. So you minimum band you need to score is 5 band, right? So till 4 band you are said to be the limited user. So when you start scoring 5 and above, your university starts considering you. So your university criteria, wherever you apply for the university for any of the courses, for graduation or the master degree, so they will consider the minimum 5 band, right? And when you are scoring 6, so they will give you before you apply to the university, so they will let you know that minimum band requirement is band 6. Then you are the competent user. That means you have started using the language on a grammatical level, as well as you have started using those kind of vocabularies, and your analytical and your logical ability is growing. That means, and 7 user, when you score 7 band, you are a good user of English language. You're writing well structured sentences in your writing part, and in speaking you have your pronunciations are good, your fluency is good, and your vocabulary, that words that you're using different synonyms for the words. So you are said to be a good user. And band 8 means you are scoring higher band, so you're a very good user of the English language, right? So you are prepared very good in your IELTS. So those who require band 8, they need to work very hard in IELTS. They need to target, they need to make their session plan, and it requires minimum 2 months of time to prepare for your IELTS. So many of the students come to me that in 15 days, ma'am, can I get good score? I need to get 7.5 and 8 band. So it is not possible. You need a minimum time period of 2 months to get good band score, right? And you should start always with one module preparation, because you should get thorough with one module. Say I'm starting listening module, then I need to be thorough with the listening module. I need to understand what all tricks are required to solve, how I can answer different types of question in the particular module. So each module will take time, and you need to plan your uh, exam, how I will prepare for my exam, and what will be my session plan to prepare. So then only you can achieve good band. So 8 is said to be the higher band. And when you are when you get the 9 band, you are an expert user. You are a proficient user of the language. You are using high vocabs. Your writing structures in the writing task is very good. You are able to form the complex structure in the writing task, as well as you are able to use different vocabs and high level of English. So yeah, and it will be compared to the native speaker. When you get 9 band, you are a proficient user of the English language. So this is all about the band score, right? So 1 is the minimum and 9 is the higher. And now let us talk about the IELTS test. What does all the module what does all the module consist of, right? How many modules are there in the IELTS? So now there are 4 modules in the academic IELTS. So the first module is a listening module. So your listening module will be for 30 minutes. And in paper-based exam, you will be given 10 minutes of time to transfer your answers. So you can write your answers on the question paper. In IELTS exam, and audio will be played only once. So you need to hear the audio, and there'll be 4 sections in the listening, and each section there'll be 10 questions, right? So total number of questions will be 40, and 10 minutes of time will be given to you in case of paper-based. And you can jot down all the notes when you are listening to the audio. It is very important to jot down all the notes, whatever the speaker is talking in the audio. All the notes you can jot down on the question paper, and whatever the answers you are writing, you can note it down on the question paper itself. And after your listening audio, you can take your answer sheet and then tick mark whatever the answers that you have written on the question paper. All the answers that you have written in the question paper should match the answer sheet. If you make mistakes in marking the answers in the answer sheet again, then you will score low in the listening module. So you need to be very careful when you are transferring your answers, right? All the answers that you have written in the question paper should be in line. So no writing here and there in the listening module on your question paper. So it is very important when you are giving a paper based test. And when you are giving computerized test, only 30 minutes is given, right? Because there are 2 screens. On one side of the screen, you will get the questions and you have to answer in the computerized test. And both idea about computerized test, it is given on the British Council site. You can go through the video how does the how you can give your computerized test. And also there are a lot of mock tests which are when you give your computerized test, so you get well aware when you prepare for your mock test at home. So you get well aware of the computerized exam. All those who are not proficient with the keyboard, and they need to prepare well before the exam for the computerized test. So in computerized, only 30 minutes of time is given to you in the listening module. And the dialogues and the conversations will be between two person conversing about day-to-day life. One person is inquiring about tour guide, is talking to the tour guide, inquiring about the places and all, and this kind of conversations. And there'll be monologues also. Monologue means one person, only one speaker is talking, and you need to understand the questions and then answer. So this is the way your dialogues and monologues will go in the listening test, right? And in next is the reading module. Reading module will be for 60 minutes. The duration of reading module is for 1 hour, right? And in 1 hour you need to answer all the 40 questions. 40 questions are given to you. And in reading module you will have 3 sections: section 1, section 2, and section 3. So each section will be having 10 questions in your reading module. And section 3 is little bit tough. It has long passages, so you need to prepare well for your reading module. You need to understand all the question types. So I will tell you in brief about all the question types that listening and reading module has. And so in total there'll be 40 questions. You need to answer all the 40 questions in 1 hour. So listening and reading, you can score well in listening and reading if you practice very well. Now the maximum preparation is required in your writing and speaking, right? You need to be well aware of the grammatical structures, as I told you. So a few of the grammar chapters in English are very important when you are preparing for your writing and speaking module, to go through those grammar chapters. You don't have to go in depth. When I'm saying that the grammar is important for the writing as well as speaking, many students are they fear grammar very much when they are preparing for the IELTS exam. So what happens is, they whole month they are just preparing for the grammar, and they are not aware of the tricks and trips when they are solving the writing and the speaking. They will tell me that my vocabulary is not good. How can I get good band in the writing and speaking? And I'm not good in grammar. So you need to just get the idea about grammar. How is the sentence formation structure? Like a few of the chapters I will mention, that is tenses. that whether you need to talk in past tense or whether you need to talk in present. So whether you need to write down the sentences in past tense, that is important. So tenses is important, articles are important, a and the is important. So it will be judged in your writing skills. Grammar, you have a 25% of weightage in writing, when I'm talking about writing in for grammar, as well as vocabulary, noting down of the synonyms. For one word you should at least know 5 to 6 words, right? So these are called the synonyms, at least 5 to 6 words. Suppose the word beautiful is there, then do not write the same word in your writing module, right? When you are writing your so in academic writing you will be getting graphs, right? And task 1, that is called task 1, different types of graphs you will be getting. So you will be getting a bar chart, you can get a line graph, you can get diagram, and also there is a map. So different types of graphs are there in your academic writing, which you need to understand very well, and 20 minutes of time is given to you. So now what you need to do in graphs, you need to prepare overall report. When you are attempting a graph, you need to understand, you need to analyze properly what is graph about, what information is given in the graph, right? What percentage information is given on x-axis, what information is given on the y-axis. So this all you need to understand and prepare an overall report about the graph. And writing task 2, so you need to divide your 20 minutes of time when you are attempting writing task 1. So how will you divide your time? 5 minutes of time you should give to generate ideas, what I am going to write, how I am going to present my report, graph report, overall report, how will I analyze. So analyze the graph nicely, and there are scoring criteria for each module. So in writing your before you start your writing, the scoring criteria is very important, that is called task achievement, right? In writing task 1 as well as in writing task 2. So task achievement, whether I have understood the question properly or not, and coherence and cohesion, well structure of the paragraphs, you need to structure your paragraphs in writing module, right? Introduction, content part, so total overall 4 paragraphs you will be writing in your graph, writing task 1. And then comes your writing task 2, right? In writing task 2 you will be getting different types of essays. So there are 5 to 6 types of essays in writing task 2, and 40 minutes of time is given in writing task 2. So in 40 minutes you need to write 4 paragraphs. So and in writing task 1 you will be writing 150 words. So max you can write 170 or 180 words. Do not exceed your word limit, and also do not write less words. If you're writing less words, then your essay will be undercount. Your score, you will get underscore for writing less words. So you can write maximum in writing task 1, you can write 170 to 180 words, and in writing task 2 maximum number of words are 270, right? The word limit is 250, but you can write 270 to 280 words maximum. And here also the grammar and vocabulary is important when you are attempting your writing tasks, when you are attempting different types of essays, and you need to understand well that is called task achievement, and coherence and cohesion, that is well structuring of your paragraph. And other 2 criteria are grammar and vocabulary. So all the grammatical structure of the sentence, as I told you, tenses are very important. Then subject verb agreement is very important, second chapter. Then articles a and the, as I told you, is very important. Prepositions, correct use of in, on is very important in your writing task. And then all your essays will be judged on your this 4 skills that I have mentioned, right? So any doubt you can ask me in the question answer sessions, that what are the scoring criteria. So it's very important to understand for your writing module, and when you are attempting for your essay and task 1 in your graphs, right? And on the basis first you understand the scoring criteria, and then I would advise you to jump into the writing module. Before that, do not start for your writing module. It is very important on what basis I will get score. So go on achieving, say I have answered my question very nicely, I have written my introduction very good, and I have written my content part, so I have achieved my task achievement. And then go on ticking, I have done, I have well prepared with my grammar, so I am good in grammar, so I have achieved my scoring criteria. Good, I have used good number of vocabularies. Vocabularies are very important, and there are say 3000 to 4000 vocabulary words available on all the website of British Council or IDP. You can download those and you can start learning the vocabulary. So you need to understand what are your learning styles. You can jot down in the book and learn. You can orally learn the vocabularies, or you can solve quiz for learning. Many students have queries like I do not remember the vocabulary, so how will I score good score in my writing and speaking task, right? So you can watch movies, so you should get habituated to watch English movies, right? And what are the subtitles? Watch the subtitles, and below that you will be getting the different words, so you can note down those words and speak in your day-to-day language, right? In 10 days or 15 days I cannot master the vocabulary, so make habit that you watch English movies, you listen to the audios. Sometimes you may not understand the accent, British accent or the American accent in the listening, then I would advise to watch the TED Talks. So TED Talks are in their accent, British accent and the American accent. So it will help you in understanding the accent, right? So and preparing well for your module. So all this practice along with your module practice, all this practice has to be there on day-to-day basis. And it requires 2 months to prepare for your whole IELTS exam, listening to the English music and watching English movies, noting down the subtitles and noting down the vocabularies from that. So all this will give you, entire preparation will give you good score of say 8 to 9 bands, 8, 8.5 and 9 bands, right? So these are all the preparations that you can do for your IELTS. And then speaking also, it will be for 11 to 14 minutes, right? And speaking, maximum speaking time is 15 minutes. And it starts from part 0. So as I said in the beginning, it can be on the same day, or it can be prior to your listening, reading and writing, and it can be after also, right? But total time period is 15 minutes. In 15 minutes your speaking exam will get over. So now it will start from part 0. Many of the students are not aware of part 0, and what is exactly is part 0. They will think that part 1, part 2 and part 3 is important for the IELTS exam. So part 0 is nothing but greeting the examiner, right? The examiner may ask you questions like what's your name. The examiner may ask you questions like what can I call you, by what name I can call you. Then they also may ask you to show your identification, so you need to show your passport or whatever the identification you are carrying. So it is very important to carry all the documents and present to the examiner. That is called greeting the examiner, that is called part 0. And your speaking will be recorded, whatever you are speaking. So you need to be very careful when you start your speaking test, right? And it starts from part 1. Now part 1 is for 3 to 5 minutes, right? So 5 minutes of time will be there for part 1, and it is all day-to-day life questions like what is your name, questions about your hometown, what is your hometown, where is your hometown, do you like your hometown. So all these questions will be there in your speaking module, right? In part 1. And in part 2 there is a cue card. So what is a cue card? Question is given to you, a topic is given to you, and you need to speak for 2 minutes on that topic. So that is called part 2. Yeah, and 1 minute of time is given to you to prepare the notes, right? Examiner will ask you to prepare your notes. So that is called part 2. A cue card is given to you. So a topic like describe your hometown, describe your last trip. The questions will be like that. Describe the most important person in your life, talk about most important person in your life. So these all topics will be there on your cue card. So you need to well prepare for that 2 minutes. It's very difficult. So before you give your speaking test, record your audios. So when you record your audios, what will happen is you will know where you lack, whether you are achieving your fluency, whether your pronunciations are clear or not, and whether you are able to speak for 2 minutes or not, right? So this all is important before you appear for your speaking test. It will help you help you a lot when you are preparing for your exam, when you record your audios. So if your one audio when you start your speaking exam, speaking preparation, so for the IELTS, if your one audio is not good, then you can go on recording audios day by day, so you will achieve your target, that how much you need to improve on your speaking skills, what all grammatical structures and what all vocabulary you need to prepare for your speaking test, and how to improve the fluency. Like you may not get words to talk, so how to improve that fluency, and overcoming of the pauses, not the normal ones, but the pauses like is very important in the IELTS speaking test. You need to overcome those and kind of pauses, right? And so that's all about the part 2. And part 3 will be the also for the 5 minutes. So part 2 will be for 2 minutes, right? So 5 plus 2, and then remaining will be for 5 minutes, part 3. And it depends on the examiner. Sometimes they will ask 6 questions in part 3. Sometimes they will ask only 2-3 questions in part 3. So it depends on the mood of the examiner. And all the questions in the part 3, that will depend on your part 2, whatever the cue card you are getting. So all the questions will be asked on that basis, right? So this is all about the speaking test. It will be for 15 minutes, right? And your scores that you will be getting, it will be you will be getting your scores in 6 days. It will take a 6 days period of time when you are giving your computerized exam, and 10 to 15 days of time they will take to give you scores when you are giving the paper based exam. So it will be there on your site. If you are booked through British Council, then you will be getting scores on the British Council site within 6 days, within 1 week of time, and you can see the scores. And for paper based, you will be getting within 10-15 days, right? And then they will also help in sending the scores to the university. So this is all about all the 4 modules, right? And now let us discuss about the question type. Little bit idea about the question type. Now I will give you a little bit information about, as I told you, that listening exam will be for 30 minutes and it will have 4 sections, and the total number of questions will be 40. So now let me give you a little bit information about the question types, what all question types the listening module has, and what type of conversations, or it will have a monologue or not, right? So in 4 sections, the section 1 will be conversation between two person, as I told you, and the conversation is from the day-to-day life. As I told you earlier, that they'll be discussing about the tour guide will be there. They'll be discussing about tour that they want to go for, and discussing about the hotel rooms and all. So this kind of conversation will be there. A lady will be there at the reception, and a man or a woman asking about the hotel booking and asking about what kind of tour they provide, and what kind of services they provide will be there in section 1. So section 1 is said to be the easy section, right? Where the speaker will talk very slowly, because it is the first section of your listening, and also they will pronounce the difficult addresses. If you are not able to understand the accent, difficult names and everything, they will pronounce. So when they are pronouncing, you can note down those difficult address as well as the difficult names. So it will mostly it will have the names and the addresses. What is the name of the person who is talking, or what is the address of the person who is talking. So they will tell you the spelling, the whole spelling, so you can note down that, right? So it will all about conversation between 2 people. And section 2 is a monologue. Monologue means only one person talking, and it will be also from day-to-day life, section 2. And it will not be a conversation between 2 people, and it will be little bit fast. Now already you have done your section 1, so now you have got used to your listening section, right? So they will give you a little bit fast in section 2. And in section 3 it will be conversation. It can be between 3 or 4 people. Conversations can be one person will be explaining, and they will be conversation will be between 3 or 4 people. One person, suppose they are giving information about the factory, so where is the factory and where is the location and how many people are working in the factory. So it will conversation will be like that. Or they are talking about the education, or they are talking about any training that they are uh, providing. So they will be conversing with their employees. One speaker will be talking, and they will be conversing with their employees and giving you the information, right? So it will also have the question type like map. They are introducing the factory, they are talking about the location, where is the factory and what is near to their factory, like cafeteria and other complexes, shopping complex, and what is near to their factory, and how the employees are given training in the and they can talk about training schedules, they can talk about any sessions in this type of conversation. So it's all academic. So you when you go to study abroad, so you need to understand the lecturer there, right? In what accent they are talking, and what all subjects will be included in your academic there when you go to study abroad. So and this kind of conversations when you have with your colleagues abroad, when you go abroad, and this kind of conversations will be, so you need to understand their accent very well. So that is why they have included this type of conversations in your listening exam. All the academic structure, it can be from newspapers, it can be from magazines, from journals, day-to-day journals in their country, about information about any academic subjects. As I told you, that information about factories, training, education. So it will all the subjects that you will be getting, it is about the education in the listening part 3, Right? In section 4, it is a monologue, and section 3 will be little bit faster than section 2, and section 4 is more fast because it is a monologue and only one person is talking. And it will also be on your academic subjects, like what all subjects that you will be studying abroad: social science, life sciences, so different subjects you will be studying when you're going abroad. So they will take they will extract from magazine or newspaper, and they will talk about that subject. Suppose they are giving information about the railway system there, and so they will give you information about the dates when the railway system started, and information about different trains and all these things in a one dialogue. So he or she will be talking very fast. Section 4, so you need to catch that section, and you need to take notes when you are in section 3 and 4. So you need to get habituated to take notes of that section, right? Because it is bit fast, you cannot remember all the text. So whenever you are reading the questions, and they will give you time in each section. Time is given, 5-10 minutes of time is given, so that you can read all the questions and you can memorize little bit, right? Keep in your mind that these are the questions when they give you time. So they will give you 6 questions, and they will give you time. So you, at that time, you have to remember the question, or you can take down the note that this is the information about the man they are talking in the speaking audio, or this is the information about the place that they are talking, and then you can attempt the question. Then it becomes very easy to attempt the question. So section 4 is very fast, and notes are very important in section 4. So this is all about listening module, right? And what skills are judged in listening module, why they are taking your listening test, that is important. Are you able to understand what is the speaker talking in the listening audio? What is their opinion? What is their conversation? Are you able to understand their complex structure of sentences? And their attitude, what attitude means, what is the tone of the speaker, right? Tone of the speaker, what is the purpose of their conversation? So do you understand all their dialogues and everything? So that all skills they are able to why they are judging is because when you go and study abroad, right? So you will be conversing with the lecturer there, you will be conversing with the professor there. So are you able to understand their accent and whatever that they are teaching in the class, whatever the subject they are teaching, and are you able to do conversations with your friends, colleagues in the college? So that is what they have put here, the academic subjects, and that all skills are judged in your listening exam, right? And any argument, or two speakers are making any argument, are you able to understand the development of that argument or not? So this all skills are judged. What is the idea, why the speaker is talking about a particular conversation, or why he is giving the information about particular training or particular education or particular subject, right? Suppose a speaker is talking about a tour, he's a tour guide and he is giving information about what tours are conducted in a particular year. So why they are doing that conversation? Because another speaker wants the information about what tours are conducted in that place. So when you go abroad, you will be conversing outside also of your college and all. So it's very important to understand the accent. So all these skills are judged in your listenings, and you can score well if you prepare in your listening exam. Well, you can score up to 8 to 9 bands in and those who have a problem in understanding the accent, so I have given the advice that they can listen to the TED Talks, and they can improve their listening skills, and also listen to the English music as well as the watch the English movie, so they can develop their skills, listening skills daily, right? And take the notes are very important to get good bands in listening exam. Then reading. So let us talk about the reading. As I told you that reading will be for 60 minutes, and no time is given for you to transfer any of the answers, and total number of questions will be 40, as I told in the beginning, and there will be 3 sections, and maximum words will be 2150 to 2750, right? And types of questions that you get in reading will be different types of questions, like filling the blanks, multiple choice. You need to 4 choices are given, and you need to choose only one choice, true or false, not given, summary completion, a map, diagram. This type of questions will be there. So in reading and listening in both the module, you need to understand the question type, and there are different tricks when you take your coaching, so and when you start your class. So you can so what I give training to the students, I make them understand each type of question to question we solve in the in our classes, right? So when you are taking up the listening module, so we go through all the question, what exactly is the question and how you need to solve that question. So I make the students understand the tricks, how to solve those questions and how to derive those answers. And even in the reading and listening, you need to be very well versed with the vocabulary. So reading module also has different synonyms. When you are solving each question types, the text the will not the statement which is given to you, that will not match the text in the reading passage. So you need to know different words, different synonyms for that. So vocabulary plays an important role right from the beginning, right? So when you start your IELTS from the day one, you need to start learning with the vocabularies, and each question will have different tricks. So first it is very important to understand different tricks and then solve the whole module, right? And then derive at the speed when you are solving your mock test and all. And reading is also scoring. Only the passage is lengthy. So once you acquire that skill to solve all the question types and understand the question types and read the whole passage, understand the meaning of the passage, then you can achieve your desired band, that is 8 to 9 band in the reading test. Now let us talk about what skills are judged, right? As I told you that the text will be from the journals, magazine, newspapers, and in your reading module also you need not have prior knowledge. Many students ask me that, ma'am, do we need to have prior knowledge of any of the subjects, say life sciences, life science or social science, or any type of prior knowledge, or any subject I need to learn or Google it or do research work on that? No, you need not have any of the prior knowledge. Only you should be habituated that you get that practice the reading passage on time, right? How to solve that reading passage on time, that is very important. So little bit of research work you can do if you want to, that from where the passage is extracted, like particular text you are not able to understand, or particular vocabulary in the reading passage you are not able to understand, then what you can do is little bit of Google search about the synonyms, what are different synonyms used for that particular word. Say autism, they are talking about the autism, then you can do a Google search and get little bit of information about what is autism. Otherwise prior knowledge is not required. Only managing solving your reading paper on time in 60 minutes, and understanding each and every passage, understanding each and every question, and knowing all the tricks and tips is important, right? And what they are judging in your reading skills. Now, what skills are judged in your reading? Whether you are able to understand what is the main idea of the reading passage, what is the author talking about, right? And suppose they are giving you passage about global warming. So are you able to understand that the passage, different words are used in the passage, different vocabularies are used in the, they may put another text also to confuse you in the reading passage. So that one or two text will be your minor ideas, one or two sentences given in your reading module. But is the passage about global warming? They are talking about the temperature, they are talking about the climate, they are talking about, so are you able to understand that the passage is about global warming, getting the gist of the reading passage? So that is very important. That skill is judged. When you used to solve the passages that you got in your college and school, only by reading the passages we were able to solve the answers below, right? Who is the author, and where is the author based at? This kind of questions were given to you. But in IELTS, the reading, they are judging different types of skills, right? So whether you are able to understand what is the cause and effect relationship, what is the cause, if it is not, and what is the purpose, why is the author using that tone in the reading passage. Inference questions, what is the meaning of inference? Now sometimes if you want to give example to the person whom you are talking, suppose you are explaining a particular topic to you want to talk about global warming, right? So the lecturer in your class there, when you study abroad, will start with the topic global warming. Now a particular student is not able to understand what global warming is exactly. So what will the lecturer do? They will give different examples, right? And they will use different examples. The purpose of the lecturer is to make students understand that they are talking about global warming. So what are inferences? Inference means what are the ideas and examples used in the passage to make you understand the main topic. So are you able to understand those, why these examples are used in the passage? So those are called the implied and the inferences. So that may not be the direct text in the passage. So are you able to judge all those skills, right? So here you require your analytical as well as the logical ability also to understand the passage, then mark the keywords in the passage, learn the vocabularies, and then understand the question type, and then solve the passage. So some of the students are not reading the passage at all, they are finding it difficulty. So first you need to achieve all this, understanding the reading passage, and then you can work on your speed. Once you achieve all this, understanding the passage and understanding what is the author's idea about the passage, reading in detail, that is very important. What is the writer's opinion, why he is using the different kinds of example, what is his purpose of making us understand about the main topic. So this all skills are judged, so that it becomes easy when you study abroad, that when your lecturer is explaining you a subject and what all examples he is putting in to make you understand that subject, particular psychology subject or whatever, management subject or whatever they are taking in the class. So are you able to understand those subjects when the examples are used? So these all skills are judged in the reading passage, right? And how the argument is developed, and how you take note of the important dates in the reading passage. Many students are not taking note of the important dates, so you need to mark all the dates, all the keywords in the passage. And scheming and scanning, these are important techniques that you need to learn. Scheming is reading a passage at a glance, taking the overview, talking about the overview, what is the author's idea, what does the author wants to tell us. And scheming is marking of the keywords and marking important vocabulary and dates, and if there are names of scientists or name of person in the passage. So when you solve the questions, you will not require to read the passage again and again. So what you can do is, when you read a passage, you can note down on the side of the passage all the important keywords, so it doesn't become difficult for you, right? So this is all about reading. If you have any questions, then you can ask after the at the end of the webinar. I'll be solving your doubts. Now let us talk about the writing. As I told you, writing is for the 1 hour, and you will be getting 2 tasks, writing task 1 and writing task 2. So your writing task, as I told you, it will be for 20 minutes, and you will be getting different types of graphs, right? And in writing task 2, you will be getting different types of essays, and it will be for 40 minutes. So you can solve any task in 1 hour. It is not compulsory that you are solving writing task 1. You can solve writing task 2 also. That depends on you. You just need to manage your time, right? How would you manage your 1 hour of time? And maximum time you should take in solving writing task 1 is 15 minutes. 5 minutes of time should be left for you to check whether you have written good paragraphs in that, or your content, or the spelling mistakes that you have made and all. So that time should be left, 5 minutes, and in both. And that also in the when you're writing your essay, 40 minutes of time is given. So you can take 35 minutes to solve your essay, and then 5 minutes of time should be left to check, right? So it is divided into 2 parts. Now, what skills are judged in your writing? As I already told you, that grammatical skills, vocabulary, everything is very important when you are solving your essay. How you well analyze the graph, analysis of graph when it comes to writing task 1, it is very important. So that if your overview and if your introduction, how well you paraphrase the question. So when I talk about the paraphrase, you need not jot down the same words from the question. So what they want in IELTS is using different words. Suppose the word show is given to you, the graph shows. So instead of show, you need to use different words. The graph depicts, or the graph illustrates. So here also the vocabulary will play important role. So there are graphical words given which you need to memorize them. Increase, decrease in case of line graphs, also in the case of bar chart. So different vocabularies are there for the graph. It is given to you, right? And in essay also, the grammar and vocabulary will play important role. Paraphrasing the essay means writing your question by using different synonyms, by using different vocabulary. For example, a word education is given, right? So you need to use a different word for the education. The word graduation is given, so you need to use a different word for the graduation. So you need not repeat the same word. That is called paraphrasing, writing how well your introduction is, and then your content part, structure of your essay, right? So 3 paragraphs will be structure of your essay, answering the question, what question they are asking in your essay. So this all is very important here in your academic writing. Right now, what skills are assessed? As I told you, it is very important. Content, what content you have written, how you organize your idea. That means how well structured you have paragraphs you have written for your essay, and as well as writing task 1, and accuracy, vocabulary, as well as grammar. Right. So these all are important, and they want to judge your all skills in IELTS. And speaking, as I told you, part 1, part 2, and part 3, I already gave you information about. It will be for 15 minutes, and it is always face-to-face interview, right? And it is always recorded, and it starts from part 0, and then part 1, part 2, and part 3 follows. And what skills are judged in speaking? They will check your fluency, pronunciation, and they will give importance to grammar, how well you are able to make the complex structure. Complex structure means using the relative pronouns, clauses in your speaking and writing as well as. So clauses will also play important role when we talk about the grammar, tenses, how well you are able to talk when a question is in the past tense, and this all skills are judged, as well as your vocabulary. If you want to score higher, so you need to prepare all these skills in writing and speaking both. If you are targeting band 7, and your target should always be higher. If you want to score say 7 band, then your target should be 7.5 to 8 bands, right? So then only you will be able to achieve 7 bands in IELTS, right? So whatever the universities say had mentioned that this 6 bands are required, then your target should be high. You can target 7.5, then only you will get 6 bands, right? If your target is 8.5, then you will get 7.5 bands. So this is all about all the 4 modules in the IELTS. So any questions, we can you can put up the questions at the end of the webinar. Yeah, Shraddha, I'm done with the IELTS, overview of the IELTS.